Welcome to final BSc Statistics students. In this class we discuss optimum allocation. We have learned that there are two methods of allocating the sample size NIs to various strata. Allocation of the sample size NIs to various strata in two particular methods, proportional allocation and optimum allocation. We have learned the proportional allocation in the previous lessons. Now we discuss optimum allocation. In the optimum allocation, allocation of NIs to various strata, depends on some particular rules. We learn one by one. One depends on some particular rules. Rule number 1. Minimizing the variance of the sample mean. Variance means always I consider variance of the sample mean. Stratified random sample mean, which means variance of y bar st. That is the meaning of this. Whenever I say variance of y bar st. So minimizing the variance of y bar st, minimizing the variance for fixed sample size n. What is the first one? Variance of y bar st. It is minimum for fixed sample size n. That is the first rule. For fixed sample size n. Second one, minimizing the variance for fixed total cost C. We will explain what is the cost. I explained the definition in this class later on. The minimizing the variance, that is variance of y bar st for fixed total cost C. That is second rule is minimizing the same for fixed total cost C. Fixed total cost C. Minimizing variance of y bar st. The variance of y bar st is going to be minimum for fixed total cost C. For fixed sample size n. It is very easy to remember. Minimizing the variance for fixed sample size n. Minimizing the variance for fixed total cost C. Two rules. The third one, minimizing the total cost C for fixed desired precision. Minimizing the total cost C, that is the third one. Minimizing the total cost C for fixed desired precision. Precision is, I explained some previous classes, is reciprocal of the variance. If precision increased, efficiency increased. If variance and variance decreases. If variance is minimized, precision is increased. If variance is decreases, precision increases. If variance increases, precision decreases. So that is the reason why reciprocal of variance. It is reciprocal of the variance. So therefore, the third point is minimizing the total cost C for fixed desired precision. These are the three rules. These are the three rules for optimum allocation. So by using these three rules, allocation of the sample size is going to be done. So allocation of Ni's to various strata is to be done by using these three rules, and such technique is called, such a method is called optimum allocation. Optimum allocation. Are you able to understand? Have you understand this? Right? So these are the three particular rules. If you remember, you can easily explain this. Such technique is known as optimum allocation. By using these three principles, allocation of Ni's to various strata is going to be done. Various strata, the Ni's are allocated. Sample sizes are allocated from various strata are going to be taken place, are going to be taken from various strata in this fashion. Now I tell you the definition of cost function in this lesson. Cost function. Why the cost function is taken separately in the stratified random sampling? Because of the reason that in the stratified random sampling, usually the cost will be differed from stratum to stratum. It is differ from one stratum to another stratum. That is, it differs from various strata, in various strata. I will tell you an example that the cost of collecting the data from rural areas will be more than the cost of collecting the data from urban areas. So therefore, cost of collecting a data per unit will be different from one stratum to another stratum. For various strata, it differs. The cost differs. Cost of collecting the information will usually differs. So that is the reason why we have calculated separately. We have considered separately. For example, you have considered CI is the cost per unit of collecting the data from the ith stratum, in the ith stratum. Cost of collecting the data for ith unit in the ith stratum. Cost of collecting the data from ith stratum per unit. Per unit. What is the cost per unit of collecting the data from ith stratum is going to be specified by CI. That is why multiplied by, if you want to get the total cost, that is multiplied by Ni. Ni is usually sample size drawn from the ith stratum. So therefore Ni units are there in the ith sample. That is respectively drawn from the ith stratum. Capital Ni. From capital Ni units, if you have drawn small Ni units, for collecting one particular ith unit, one particular unit from the ith sampled observation, for one particular unit the cost is Ci, then for Ni unit Ci into Ni. In the ith sample, the ith sample of size Ni, it is going to be drawn from ith stratum. So therefore, cost per collecting the one unit is going to be considered as if it is Ci, then for Ni units if it is, then it is Ci into Ni. For Ni units it is Ci into Ni. Likewise for all stratum, then it will be specified as summation I is equal to 1 to k Ci into Ni. For all strata. For first stratum C1, that is the first stratum means first the sample from the first stratum, that is first sample N1, the cost per unit is C1 into N1, that is the cost for all units in the first sample. that is C1N1, second sample C2N2, and so on. The cost of collecting the information from the kth sample is CKMK. Hence it is total for all, from all strata, it will be summation I equal to 1 to k CANI. And also if you have considered A is a overhead cost. What is meant by overhead cost? Not just it is other than the cost of collecting per unit of data. Per unit of the data, whatever the cost involved, CI, to collect the cost for collecting from the all sample individuals, all sample number of items from all the sampled units, that the cost will be summation CINI. The other than the cost other than for this, that is to get the material, to collect the material, to prepare the papers, to prepare the questionnaires, etc. It is not under this particular the cost involved in the collection, except cost of collecting the data, information obtaining from the sample units, except the cost involved in the collection of the data from the sample units in the entire stratified random sample, that is summation CINI, remaining all the cost. The remaining cost is called overhead cost. Usually in the business economics, and usually we specify overhead cost is nothing but a cost for obtaining raw material, etc. Obtaining the raw material, incurred cost, the cost incurred from remaining various other sources are going to be specified as overhead cost. Now it is other than of collecting the information from the individuals, from the sample units or else sample units you can specify. The cost is said to be overhead cost A. The other cost, then other cost of this, that excluding this remaining cost is overhead cost A. Whatever the reasons we have, we may have some particular, we may have to spend some particular money on the various reasons like taking the paper, collecting the information, preparing the questionnaire, etc. All the cost comes under A. So therefore the total cost is said to be C. That is called cost function. The cost function C is nothing but A plus summation I is equal to 1 to k CINI. I hope you follow this. Have you understand the cost function? Where CI is the, if CI is the cost per unit of collecting the information from ith individual or ith unit selected from the ith stratum. Cost per unit is collecting from the ith stratum, drawn from the ith stratum of the sample units, drawn from the ith stratum. And the overall cost is summation I is equal to 1 to k CINI plus the overhead cost A, which is called cost function C. So in this lesson we have discussed optimum allocation and cost function. Thank you.